First of all, apologies for the AI voice. I'm currently sitting in a hospital waiting room. I've been out of a job for about 4 weeks now, and somehow, despite rest and recuperation, I'm contemplating when it's a reasonable hour to get my 4th coffee for the day. Anyway, I wanted to introduce myself. I'm not super comfortable with the idea of my face being all over the internet in a vlog sort of way, so I'm starting here. Hi, I'm Mel. I'm barreling towards 30 years old. I live in Brisbane, Australia, and I'm someone who constantly has about 100 tabs open in her brain. Since losing my job, I've had to do a lot of soul-searching. It definitely wasn't on my 2025 bingo card to be here jobless. But then again, neither was my husband being diagnosed with a rare blood cancer in 2024. Anyway, I decided that while I'm applying for jobs, I'm also a dreamer who's trying to get out of the rat race. And I thought, why not? So I decided to start a podcast and launch a website, which, by the way, I don't even have the money to publish properly yet. But let's just throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. I've always been a creative person and have struggled with finding my worth and believing in my talents. I also love to write, and on a recent holiday, I came up with a cool idea for a 3-part psychological thriller, dark crime book, partially based on my own life and DV experience from many moons ago. I also had a nice little cry over the price of tickets to Greece this year. It's been my dream to spend my 30th birthday there later this year. But that moment actually sparked a business idea, which I'm excited to see develop. If you want to hear more about that and follow the journey, it's in its early stages, but I'd be happy to take you along with me through screen recordings as I piece it all together. What you'll see here is me designing my Wix website from scratch. You can watch all my fails, choices, mistakes, and indecision. I hope it's somewhat helpful, or at least entertaining. And if you have any questions about how I make my Wix sites or want any creative advice, I'm more than happy to help. I really love how it's all come together. Every photo has a story, and I think that's so special. One of my favorites is the wedding photos I took last minute on a friend's camera. They were eloping and asked me to be their photographer. The photos turned out way better than any of us expected, and it's one of those memories I'll always treasure. I also help run the social media for my church, and I really enjoy it, especially the photography side of things. Capturing emotions and once-in-a-lifetime moments and being able to solidify them forever brings me so much joy. I've even had some funny moments along the way, like getting completely soaked diving into the ocean for the perfect shot. Worth it every time. I've really struggled, even as a Christian, despite knowing I have skills, passions, and hobbies. Even with people affirming those things, which I used to live for, I've been working hard not to rely on external validation anymore, especially now, trying to break into the marketing and creator content world. It feels like all I can see is everything I'm not. It's hard sometimes to focus on my lane, on what I can do, not what I can't, and to trust in my own uniqueness. I love watching videos of people who stuck to their guns and became an overnight success 10 years later. That gives me hope. I've got a few jokes or mottos that keep me going when I feel discouraged. The first is, don't be scared to be bad at something new. The second, the fears we don't face become our limitations. And the third comes from scripture. Don't despise small beginnings. That last one is from Zechariah. When they were rebuilding the temple, the older generation was upset because it didn't look as grand as the old one. And God essentially said, stop it. Don't ruin this. Rejoice. It's begun. The irony? We are now the temple of God. And yet we can be so negative, scared of being cringe or unliked or unsuccessful. I hear so many haunting stories of incredibly talented people who just never use their talent. I remember listening to a podcast with a famous author who said she couldn't believe she made it. She wasn't even the best writer in her class. But the difference? She actually wrote the book. They didn't. She said the others got stuck in their heads, obsessed with perfection, and never even got off the ground. Despite having more talent, in her opinion, they never took the risk. That stuck with me. Another podcast I love talked about how creatives have high-level taste, unique, rich, refined, but beginner-level skill. The only way to close that gap is to keep creating. Eventually, your skill will catch up to your taste. Okay, so I don't really know what I'm doing, but I also don't not know what I'm doing, you know? I'm just figuring it out as I go. This website is kind of like my life right now. Some parts make sense. Some parts are still loading. I've changed this color scheme 6 times, and I still don't know if it feels me or just neutral beige person who has their life together. Spoiler, I don't, but I'm proud of this. Even if no one sees it, even if it flops, it's mine. It's something I built while jobless, a bit heartbroken, and overly caffeinated. So yeah, welcome to my brain. It's mostly vibes, a few dreams, and this Wix template I'm now emotionally attached to. Also, can we talk about how much time I spent applying for jobs? Like actual hours? Writing tailored cover letters, doing spec projects, trying to really show them I understood their brand. And then, silence. Not even a thanks, but no thanks. Just vibes and rejection. At first, I felt crushed. Like, why am I doing all this for free and getting nothing back? But then, it hit me. I could just put all that work here, on my website. Use it to show what I can actually do instead of just telling people. Now I'm kind of obsessed with the idea of redoing company Instagram feeds. If that's something you'd want to see, let me know. Honestly, I'm down to turn this whole trial and error phase into a content series. The mess is kind of the brand. Maybe trying a bunch of things is the thing right now. Maybe I don't need to niche down before I even know what's possible. Maybe this mess is momentum. If you're here, thanks for listening to my brain dump. Let me know what you think. Is it better to focus on one thing or keep throwing spaghetti at the wall until something sticks?